What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a thirsty Thursday, July 11th, 7/11, 2024. Hope you're having a good one. We got to get back on this Oregon Duck preview, get to know your enemy. This October game is creeping closer. It's going to be a monster. And these guys are being a major pain in the ass on the recruiting trail lately. So Nike backed. Phil Knight wants to see a national championship at Oregon before he dies. Just like freaking mid-'80s or something. So he's throwing money at it, and Dan Lanning is reaping the rewards. So let's get into it. We're talking Oregon Ducks defense today. We did the offense a couple of days ago. You can go back and check that out. That was a long one. That's what she said. So let's talk about these freaking Ducks. Their schedule rankings have always been pretty mediocre, pretty soft. According to Phil Steele's toughest schedule rankings, in 2021, they were 56th, playing in the freaking Pac-12. What do you expect? 2022, they were 33rd. 2023, last year, they were 68th. Puke. And then this year, they are 41st. Yeah, guess what? Things get a little tougher when you start playing Big Ten teams. So the the coaching staff, we'll talk about Dan Lanning. He's 38 years old in his third year. He's 22-5, 2-0 in bowl games. But against top 25 opponents, he's only 7-5. Not too many of those top 25 opponents from the Pac-12, right? He was the DC at Georgia from 2019 to 2021. They had the best defense in the country in 2021. But they lost to Washington twice, both by field goal, and 3 times over the last 2 years. Now you got third-year defensive coordinator Tosh Lapoy. He was defensive coordinator at Alabama 2017 and 2018. He was an NFL D-line coach the last 3 years. So this Duck defense continues to transition toward the style of defense that Lanning ran at Georgia. They're still kind of in the process of, the old adage, getting their guys in. So they run a 3-4 type of line of scrimmage personnel, 3 down linemen, 1 outside linebacker on the line of scrimmage. So they like to use simulated pressure from multiple angles. So you got your creepers coming up, and rather than they don't blitz in big numbers, like in waves, they bring, guys from different angles to keep you off balance. So you got to watch out for the DB blitz. And then, going back to the Washington series against Penix, he beat them with a clean pocket and a 4-man rush. Most quarterbacks will, and Penix was razor sharp against the Ducks. So last year in 2023, some of the stats they put up on defense, they only allowed a 60% completion percentage by opposing quarterbacks, 216 yards per game passing, and 1.1 touchdowns per game. Against the run, they were really good, really staunch. I don't know. Stout? Yeah, that's what we're going for. Run defense, they allowed 28 attempts per game, 103 yards per game. That's really strong. Just a 3.6 yard per carry average and 0.7 touchdowns per game. So very, very stingy on defense. They allowed 18 first downs per game. That's pretty tight. And they benefited from turnovers with 1.3 turnovers per game. Now, going into 2024, they're returning 70% of their defensive production. That's 27th. But they hit the portal really hard on defense. This year, they lost 4 guys to the NFL, but have 9 starters back, including the transfers. So you got 8 total transfers came in just on the defensive side of the ball alone. And this really stood out to me when I was doing my research. Total outgoing transfers that have left the team since December of 2022, Oregon, 34. 34 dudes have left the team in a year and a half. That seems excessive. Anyway, the Buckeyes, to compare, just 9 have left in the same time period. So Lanning's still, cycling through guys. Not quite as extensive as Coach Prime, but still, going through a turnover there. Big Ten, the 2024 Big Ten unit rankings, according to Phil Steele, on the defense, Ohio State's defensive line is ranked second. Oregon's is sixth. This is just in the Big Ten. Ohio State's linebackers fourth. Oregon's second. Ohio State's DBs first. Oregon's fifth. Remember that? That's a point of note. And then the coaches, Ryan Day is he's second in the Big Ten. That's weird. Oregon's is fifth. Now, defensive line, they lost 5 of their top 6 linemen. They're number 23 in the country unit ranking. You got your edge, number 1, Jordan Birch. He's 6'6", 295. He has 14 starts. He played 3 years at South Carolina before coming over to the Ducks. Last year, had 13 starts, 34 tackles, 7.5 TFLs for the Ducks. He had a 62 PFF pass rush grade and just 3 sacks. So he's not a huge threat off the edge, but he's strong. His size at 295 makes him more of a strong side, almost DN, Then you got your D tackle, Derek Harmon, 6'5", 330. He has 15 starts, 71 tackles, 6.5 TFLs in 3 years at Michigan State. Just came in from Michigan State. He's strong versus the run. So that's why he's brought in as a run plugger, obviously at 330. You might also remember Aiden Breland. He's in like the 3 deep, I would say, at D tackle. The Buckeyes went after him in the recruiting a couple years ago. The other D tackle, Jamari Caldwell. He's a senior, 6'1", 325, 8 starts, 27 tackles, 8.5 TFLs last year at Houston. He's another transfer. So you got 2 transfers right there down in the middle where they had to get better. He's strong versus the run as well, according to the PFF grades. And then the other edge, Tatum Teote. That's what we're going with. 6'3", 260. Played in 13 games, 29 tackles, 4 TFLs last year, but he has a 48 PFF run grade, 61 PFF pass rush, and just 2 sacks. So some other guys along that D-line from recruiting, you might remember Mateo Uyunglele, 6'5", 265 sophomore. He's played in 13 games. And then Elijah Rushing, remember him, 6'6", 251. A couple guys the Buckeyes went in on in the recruiting. Linebackers, they're ranked number 7 in the country. So 5 of the top 6 linebackers return. They added a JUCO transfer. You got inside linebacker Justin Jacobs. You might remember him from Iowa, 6'4", 236. He has 5 starts, 32 tackles last year. He was the number 8 tackler on the team, though. He has a 64 PFF run grade, 58 in coverage, so not good against covering backs and tight ends. They're stud in the middle. Their go-to guy at linebacker, the senior returning, Jeffrey Bassa, 6'2", 225, 14 starts, 71 tackles, 3.5 TFLs. He's second team Pac-10 last year. He's the number 2 tackler on the team and the unquestioned leader of the defense. He does have a 65 PFF run grade, which is mediocre, but a 77 PFF coverage grade. And they play with a star, a hybrid receiver. Safety and linebacker, the star position like we used to. Brandon Johnson, he is a transfer from Duke. He's a senior, 5'10", 180, 26 starts, 128 tackles, 16 TFLs, 13 passes batted down. Does have a 69 PFF coverage grade, 56 PFF run grade. So obviously much stronger there in the coverage. And now let's talk about their defensive backs. They're number 11 in the country. 5 of the top 8 are back, and they added 2 transfers who were full-time starters. First up, you got the senior, Dante Manning. He's 5'10", 189. He had 4 starts and played in 25 games. Had 7 passes batted down last year. He's a 63 PFF coverage grade, so not fantastic. Then you got the transfer, Jabbar Muhammad, just transferred over from Washington, so kind of going to across enemy lines there. He's a senior, 5'10", 183, has 15 starts, 46 tackles, 5 TFLs, 19 passes batted down. He was second team All Pac-10 last year at Washington. Played 3 years at Oklahoma State. He has a strong 79 PFF coverage grade. The other transfer is the safety Kobe Savage. He's another senior. A lot of age, a lot of experience in the secondary loaded with seniors. It's all senior secondary. Kobe Savage, 5'11", 206. He has 22 starts under his belt, 115 tackles, 6.5 TFLs, and 6 picks. That was in 2 years at K-State. He has a 69 PFF coverage grade. The other safety, Tysheem Johnson. He's a senior, 5'10", 200 pounds, 20 starts, 125 tackles, 8 TFLs, 3 passes batted down in 2 years at Ole Miss. He has a 64 PFF coverage grade. So just a few more names you might remember from recruiting. Dakota Fields, Ife Obadegwu, and Peyton Woodyard are all there. Woodyard transferred in from Georgia. So they are a national title contender on defense, I would say. They're good. I don't know if they're good enough. They do have some flaws, especially even though they're old in the secondary. I think that's their weakest spot, honestly. So those are the Ducks. That's the Duck in defense. Get the Duck out of here. Just getting acquainted with the Ducks. We'll do a full preview as we get closer to game day and stuff like that, and we'll talk about how the Buckeyes match up, personnel wise, one to one. Our receivers versus their secondary looks like a win for us. Running game could be a win for us. They're stout up the middle, but maybe on the edges we can take advantage. We'll see. So let me know what you guys think. Are you intimidated by this Duck defense? You see some holes, some opportunities for the Buckeyes? They're in the Big Ten now. It's a new rival. Could be the big rival for this season. I think they're going to win more games than the Cheaters. So I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.